Morning to all. So in the self-transformation season 2, we are focused on transformation. So we begin with understanding the spiritual science, the meditation science, the science of meditation. And then we understood Mauna practice, the power of silence. So in the first weekend, we have experimented with mindfulness and silence. Then as we went forward, we understood ego. We discussed extensively about our false identities and why it is necessary to be authentic if you want to live a happy life. So we discussed in detail about ego and authenticity. And what is stopping the authenticity is the fear. We discussed about the fear. So now we'll go into the next topic, the power of thought. Or in other words, the power of intent. In the Gautama Buddha's Eightfold Path, his Eightfold Path is to come out of suffering, to live a happy life. So the first point is the right views. The second point is the right Sankalpa. That means right intentions. Your intent matters. Sankalpa Shakthi, that's in Sanskrit. Sankalpa Shakthi means the power of intent, or in other words, the power of thought. Our thoughts are very, very powerful. We have already realized it when we discussed about our fears. Fears are fundamentally, the root cause of the fears is illusions. Illusions because of the lack of understanding of the spiritual science. We are in illusions. These thoughts, these subconscious thoughts, develops into a kind of self-suggestion. And then we manifest the wrong things. We manifest the things which we don't want. But the thoughts play a very important role. Whether it is conscious or unconscious doesn't matter. So our entire effort is to make sure we take charge of our life. We become the masters of our life. For that, you have to be aware of your thoughts. You have to be aware of what's going on inside you. Because what you think is what you are manifesting by default. So the power of thought is a very, very important subject. If you want to live a happy life, a successful life, if you want to live a successful life, it can be in the field of spirituality or it can be in the field of materialistic success. Your thoughts matter. Your success depends on your thought power. So let us go in detail about the subject today. The power of thought. This is the most important theme. This is the most important topic in spiritual science. So you might ask, every time you give a topic, you say it is very important. Yes, that is the beauty. Everything is connected to everything. You would have seen the flow. Meditation is important, mindfulness is important, Mauna is important, and everything is connected. And ego, fear, to be authentic. What stops to be authentic is the fear. And how to be successful in life. Again, we need to have the right understanding. So everything in the field of spirituality, everything is connected to everything. Important. But if you go with the priorities, understanding of this theme, understanding the power of thought, understanding the science behind this intent, understanding the science behind the thought power is the most important. Everything is important, but this is the most important. And it is a spiritual law. It is a spiritual law in the human life to be understood, for the humanity to raise its consciousness. Fundamentally, who are we? We are thought beings. We are energy beings. We are knowledge beings. If you want to describe who are we are fundamentally energy/consciousness. That means we are thought beings, we are thinking beings, we are energy beings, and we are knowledge beings. We're all a speck of consciousness. We know that we are Atma and we have come from the Purnatma, or Paramatma. We're all a speck of the consciousness, like the rays of the sun. If the sun is Paramatma and the rays coming out of the sun is the Atma. And consciousness expresses as thought. This is the most important point you have to understand. Consciousness functions as thought. Consciousness expresses as thought. This is the field of enlightenment. If you understand this, then you are in the field of enlightenment. So to make it easy, simple, truth is always simple. It is the which complicates. So let us understand the beauty, the simplicity of the truth. We all know matter is energy, energy is matter. E is equal to mc square. Einstein. E is equal to mc square. Energy is equal to matter. Matter is nothing but energy condensed. When the energy gets focused, when the energy gets condensed, it becomes matter. This is the field of quantum science. And where does that energy come from in the first place? The energy comes from your thought. And where does the thought come from? The thought is the function of your consciousness. This is the field of enlightenment. The thought functions as consciousness. The thoughts are radiating from the consciousness. The thoughts are generated from the consciousness. This is the field of enlightenment, my dear friends. So by understanding the field of enlightenment, naturally you dissolve your ego, your personality. And there is liberation. Liberation means you are free. It's a freedom. Freedom from all the pain and all the suffering. There's no more suffering. That is mukti, moksha, freedom, liberation. So the thought is a function of consciousness, and the energy generated by the thought, wherever is our attention, we have discussed about in the mindfulness. Where our attention goes, our mind goes. And that's where the energy is generated. That's where the energy flows. So this is spiritual science. This is the field of spirituality. You are not a matter. You are not energy. You are not a thought. This is a very beautiful statement. You are not a matter. You are not energy. You are a thought. You are pure consciousness. Because your thoughts are from your consciousness, and through the thoughts you are generating that energy, and through that energy the matter is getting manifested. So fundamentally we are pure consciousness. And we have many questions in life. Who am I? Where did I come from? What is ultimate truth? What is life? What is death? What is this whole creation? What is this manifestation? Who is behind all this creation? How does it function on its own? Everything on its own is automatically functioning in the whole existence. How does it happen? Where does this question arise from? The question arises from the consciousness. And where does the answer come from? The answer also comes from consciousness. This is enlightenment science, my dear friends. So we are all fundamentally thinking beings, and the thoughts are from the consciousness. So we are thinking beings responding to an environment. And everything is dynamic. You see, in this creation, the earth is rotating around the sun. The sun is rotating around the greater central sun. If you see the whole cosmos, everything is dynamic. Everything is in a constant flux. Every aspect of the creation is moving. Nothing is static. And that is the beauty of life. Everything is dynamic. Every moment is a new moment. So when we spoke about mindfulness, we discussed that we should have a beginner's mind. We should let go of our old ideas, because every moment is an opportunity for something to be new. So when everything is dynamic and our thinking, how do we respond? How does a being respond to a particular situation? It depends on the knowledge of the particular person. It depends on how much energy he has. And also it depends on the thought quality of a particular person. Before we can think about Sankalpa Shakthi, we should also understand what is Sankalpa Shuddhi. First comes Sankalpa Shuddhi, then comes Sankalpa Shakthi. Sankalpa Shuddhi means there is no negativity. Your thoughts are pure and it's always progressive. It's not going backwards. Right Sankalpas, the right intent. Sankalpa Shuddhi refers to your mind is not wavering. Your mind doesn't go in multiple directions. You are focused and you don't step back. There is no one step forward, there is no two steps backwards. And what you want, you are 100% focused on that. There is no diversion in your thoughts. So when you are 100% focused, when you absolutely know what you really want, and when you are able to focus on that single point agenda, then there is Sankalpa Shuddhi. There is no Vikalpa, there is Sankalpa Shuddhi. So that is the first, and then comes Sankalpa Shakti. So the law of intent and effect, or in other words, as you intend, so would be your effect. Or in other words, what you think, so you become. What you think, so you become. So the intent is in our mind, the effect is in our environment, the outer manifestation. And these days the topic of manifestation has become very popular. Manifestation. Everywhere there is manifestation. It's become very popular. Yes, manifestation is a beautiful science, but you have to understand it in a complete and proper way. You have to understand 360 degrees. If you don't understand the science behind the manifestation, then you end up having the consequences. You have to suffer. So tomorrow we will discuss in detail about manifestation and its consequences. But today, let us focus on understanding the science behind the power of intent, the power of thought. As you think, so you become. Absolute truth. So here the focus is, before you can use your Sankalpa Shakti, you have to first make sure there is Sankalpa Shuddhi. That means your intent has to be pure. What are you manifesting? What is the reason you are manifesting? What is the purpose of manifesting? What is the intent behind the manifesting? This is what Gautam Buddha said. The second point in the Eightfold Path is right intentions. Because as you think, so you become. So if the intentions are not right, then the manifestation will be disastrous. So now you might ask, when should we use this manifestation technique? When we should not use it? Once you understand the science properly, then you understand when to use it, when not to use it. So these consequences, we will speak about it tomorrow in detail. So we create our own reality. This is the ultimate truth, my dear friends. We create our own reality. You should read Seth wisdom books. If you want enlightenment, the Seth wisdom is a must. The essence of the Seth wisdom is channeled through a person called Jane Roberts. So if you read those books, you will understand that the ultimate truth is we create our own reality. Whatever it is, we create our own reality. Through what? So when you see the statement, we create our own reality, then you might be thinking, yeah, okay, but how? So we create our own reality is half statement. The complete statement is we create our own reality through our desire patterns, through our thought patterns, and through our decision patterns. That is a complete picture. Pattern. What is a pattern? That's something which repeats itself, is a pattern. So based on our desire patterns, what kind of desires you have? Are you having the same desires again and again and again? Are you having the same thoughts? Or do you have the capacity? Do you have the power to make a decision and stick on to the decision? Today is the same decision. Tomorrow is the same decision. Day after tomorrow it's the same decision. Then it becomes a decision pattern. So we create our own reality through our decision patterns, through our thought patterns, and through our desire patterns. Let us understand a little more about the desire patterns. For example, you hear a nice music in the nature, or you listen to a music maestro playing a beautiful instrument. So there is a desire which arises in you. So we have to understand all our desires are from our indriyas. All our desires, our indriyas, our eyes, the seeing, the hearing, the smell, the taste. For example, when you eat a delicious food, a tasty food, then when you enjoy that food, a desire arises. Because this tasting of the food is through your indriyas. Then the desire comes that, yes, I have to learn that cooking. Every day I have to eat tasty food. So the desire comes to be a cook when you eat delicious food. When you listen to Jesus Christ using your ears, when you listen to Jesus Christ, when you listen to Gautama Buddha's teachings, then a desire arises within you. I want to be like that. I want to be like a Christ. I want to be like a Buddha. I want to radiate my true potential. I want to live my true potential. I want to live a happy life like a laughing Buddha. I want to live a happy life. 24/7, I want to be happy. So that desire happens when you see an enlightened master. So all the desires are from your indriyas. So coming back to this example, when you listen to music, a desire arises in you. Then your thought pattern is captured by the desire. Then say, okay, I want to also play that music. I also want to be a good music player because I enjoy it. Then you search. Then the search begins. You search for the right teacher. And then you practice, you learn. You start from the basics, then you learn. You do practice, then you become a great musician. Just imagine, when you listen to the music, you had the desire. Then you made an effort to find the teacher. And then you started your basics, you continued learning the music for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. Then after that, your desire is no more the same. The intensity of the desire is no more the same. Your desire keep reducing. Then what will happen? You will drop out of the music class. So in the beginning you had a desire, so you joined the music class. But later on, the desire is not consistent. The pattern is not there. Every day you don't have the same desire. So eventually you will drop out of it. So that is the desire pattern. So your desires should be consistent. Same intensity every single day until you get what you want. This is called seriousness, in other words. Sincerity means you really want from your heart. That is sincere. Seriousness means every day you practice until you get what you want. That is seriousness. Sincerity breeds seriousness. So our desire patterns are very, very important. And we discussed everything arises in the mind and manifests in the outer. So if you are wavering in your mind, you cannot achieve what you want. If there is no consistency, if the thoughts are not consistent, wavering, then you cannot achieve what you want. Your thought pattern should be continuous and you should maintain. And it all depends on the intensity of your desire. And it all depends on how much knowledge you have on that subject. When you have the complete knowledge on the subject, then your desire is very deep. But when you don't have much knowledge on the subject, you superficially, yes, you get attracted superficially. And then eventually you will drop it out because you don't have the complete knowledge of the subject. When you understand the science behind it, when you have the complete knowledge, then the intensity of the desire is deep. And when the desires are deep, then your thoughts are continuous. And here, the most important point again, it also depends on how much fearless you are. Your thought pattern depends on how much fearless you are. If you are fearful, then your thought power weakens. Your Sankalpa Shakthi reduces. The power of your thought reduces. If you have fear, your thought power reduces. That's why we have to discuss about the fear first before we can think about, we can discuss about, we can understand about the thought power. Anything you manifest, if there is an element of fear, the outcome will be disastrous. Or in other words, you cannot even manifest what exactly you want. So the power of decisive thinking means there is no hanky-panky. Once you made a decision, that's it. It should be a do or die. That should be the attitude. When you have the attitude of do or die, then you have made a decision and you will never back it out. You will never back off from your decision because you have decided. It's you who have decided it is a do or die. So you will always go forward and there is no wavering, there is no hanky-panky, there is no one step forward, one step backwards. No, you have decided. So that is the power of decisive thinking. And for any person to experience success, or in other words, if you want to be a successful woman or a man, the success depends on your thought patterns, desire patterns, and decision patterns. So this is how we create our own reality. They should be crystal clear. We should be crystal clear. The clarity is very important, my dear friends. The crystal clear clarity in your desire, what you want, in your thought patterns and your decision patterns. For example, you are thinking that you want this. Okay, you are positive about it today and you want to do this, you are going forward. And tomorrow, if there is any small doubt which arises within you, you catch hold of yourself. That's why mindfulness becomes very, very important. Every moment you are aware. And the moment you notice any negative thought, you immediately cut the thought, you immediately replace it. No. So then the negative thought naturally collapses. This is the law of thought. The law of thought is whatever the thought you generate, whatever the thought you radiate, it goes back to the field, it goes back to the creation, to the existence. The thought goes back, goes into the field, and then it comes back to you. This is the law of thought. So if you're thinking positive, if you're thinking miraculous, it goes and comes back to you. So it becomes more stronger. So the manifestation happens eventually. But the moment you notice any negativity coming from you, immediately you cut it. Immediately you say, no, cut. So then the negative thought has no power. It collapses. So you should be absolutely crystal clear in your thought patterns, in your desire patterns, and in your decision patterns. And we discussed about these 4 types of thinking patterns that our life depends. Negative mind, positive mind, disastrous mind, and miraculous mind. So now we discussed already about this subject. Your life depends on your mindset. So now you might say, okay, sir, we have understood. We have understood the Sankalpa Shakthi. We have understood the science of enlightenment. So we understood the quantum science, enlightenment science. We have understood all the things. So we have understood that matter is nothing but energy manifested, and the energy comes from our thought. And the thought is nothing but the function of the consciousness, and we are pure consciousness. We understand all those things. But what to do? We understand all these things. How do we increase our Sankalpa Shakthi? What should we do to make sure our decision patterns, our thought patterns, and our desire patterns are intact? So the first is meditation. The first point is meditation. It becomes very, very, very essential. And you might say, okay, we are beginners of meditation. We are not used to do that intense meditation. We just started, only started few months. So then how can we make sure we are continuing the meditation with great intensity? So before the step of meditation, silence, mauna, practice of silence helps a lot. The more you practice silence, the more you conserve your energy. Silence simply means there is no verbal diarrhea. You don't speak unnecessarily. You don't waste your energy. Your mouth is shut all the time. You don't speak a single word unnecessarily. That is very important if you want to conserve your energy. In the beginning stages of the spiritual journey, it is very important. You have to conserve a lot of energy, cosmic energy, prana. The more you conserve the energy, the more it helps you to reach a greater level of understanding of life. Your consciousness expands. So the more you reach greater heights of consciousness, the more it helps you to reach further. So you have to be very careful with your energy. You have to be very careful with what kind of food you are eating. You have to be very careful with your words. And you have to be very careful with your actions. So when you do this, you conserve the energy. So the practice of mindfulness and the practice of mauna, these two things conserve your energy. And when you practice meditation, you maximize your energy. And with the right understanding of spiritual science, so first comes the conserving energy part through the practice of silence and mindfulness. You see, Buddha, when Gautama Buddha was traveling from village to village, town to town, and he was teaching, spreading his teachings. So a layman, a farmer, came to Buddha because he was passing by his village. And he came and asked Buddha, because he saw there were so many disciples around Buddha and there are so many people gathered around Buddha. He don't know what is happening. So he's curious to know what is happening. So he went and he was peeping through to just out of curiosity to know what is happening. And he understood that there is something spiritual discourse is happening. If they are speaking great, great things, they're speaking about enlightenment science. But he doesn't understand anything. He's a layman, just a farmer. So he went and asked Buddha, Swamiji, I don't understand all those things. But what is it in the first place? If I know one thing is everybody wants to be out of suffering. Everybody is striving to be happy. That much I can understand. But I also want the same thing. Please help me, Swamiji. What is enlightenment? I don't understand. Please tell me. So Buddha said, it's very simple. Walk while you're walking, eat while you're eating. That's all. He said, really? Is that all? If I practice this, will I be happy in my life? Buddha said, yes, you will be happy in your life. Walk while you're walking, eat while you're eating, work while you're working. So Buddha gave mindfulness first before he taught meditation. So this person, he practiced very intensely. He has taken Buddha's words very seriously. And he has absolutely, totally followed this. He was totally involved in. While eating, he is only eating. While working, he is only working. While walking, he is only walking. So whatever he is doing, he only practiced it. He realized naturally there is a certain joy. He doesn't become tired. And his life is become more joyful, more happy. There is a huge shift in his life. He practiced it for 6 months. Then Buddha was passing by the same village again. Then he wanted to go and meet Buddha. Then he went. He said, Swamiji, I practiced whatever you told me. I practiced it. And I'm so happy now. I'm so energetic. My life has transformed. There is a 180-degree change of my life. Thank you very much. But I have a small question. Even though I'm feeling energetic, even though I'm feeling happy, I feel there is something missing inside me. There is a small vacuum inside me. I don't know what is it. I don't know how to express it, but I feel incomplete. Then Buddha said, now you are ready for meditation. Come, sit, close your eyes, observe the breath. Finished. So mindfulness becomes very, very essential to prepare yourself for enlightenment. To conserve, the more you practice mauna, the more you practice mindfulness, the more you conserve the energy. The great master Meher Baba, he practiced mauna for 40 years. So every religion emphasized on mauna, especially Jainism, they emphasize on mauna. Mahatma Gandhi, he used to practice one day mauna. In spite of all his busy schedules, he decided that one day per week I will be in mauna. Why? To face the mighty British Empire, he needs a lot of energy, willpower. So he has to conserve that energy through that mauna. So that one day practice of mauna gave him all the energy to face the British for the rest of the week. And he eventually succeeded to throw the British government out. So if you want the Sankalpa Shakti, the first is mauna and mindfulness. Then comes meditation. Sincere meditation. Every day, sincere and serious meditation. And finally comes understanding the science, understanding the proper science. If you don't understand the science, then the Shakti is not there. The Sankalpa Shakti is not there. The thought power is not there. Understanding the proper science of it. Completely researching where there is no ambiguity, where there is no gray areas. You are enlightened in that particular subject. When you are enlightened in that particular subject, then it gives you a lot of power. It gives you a lot of energy. Then your desire patterns are consistent. Then your thought patterns are consistent. Then you decide, your decision pattern will be, it's a do or die, because I know the beauty of it. I wanted it. So, first, mauna, mindfulness. Second, meditation. The third is understanding the science behind it. When you have all those aspects, then your power is to the peak. Your Sankalpa Shakti is highest. Then you can manifest whatever you want. Any place, anytime, in any worlds, in any dimensions, you can manifest whatever you want. This is the truth, my dear friends. This is a subject of great depth. So tomorrow I will take you into further aspects, understanding the science. When to use, when not to use. Because when you have power, power comes with the responsibility. If you misuse it, you have to face the consequences. So that we will understand it tomorrow. But I want to make sure whatever we discussed so far is clear. It should be crystal clear. I will take one or two questions and we'll conclude the day.
You were explaining the steps of enlightenment. Okay. In that, I was just writing down. Mindfulness was the first step, and then silence and meditation, or silence is a part of meditation.
No, I was explaining that Buddha gave mindfulness first for a layman.
Yes.
And then he taught meditation. That first is we have to conserve the energy. That is the first step. So to conserve the energy, first is to practice mauna.
Okay.
The practice of mauna is the first step.
Okay.
And then when you are practicing more and more mauna, simultaneously you can practice mindfulness. Because mauna, when you practice mauna, you conserve energy. With that energy, you can practice mindfulness. Because to practice mindfulness also, you need a lot of awareness, you need a lot of energy.
Okay.
The first comes the practice of mauna. The second comes the practice of mindfulness.
Okay. Okay. Right.
This is the first step. And then the energy maximization, which is meditation. And then fine-tuning, going to the pinnacle, that is enlightenment science.
Then fine-tuning. Okay. Well, what does that mean, sir? Fine-tuning?
You meditate, you get energy. So you have a lot of energy, but if you don't understand the science behind it, you don't have the complete knowledge of it, then you eventually misuse it and you will have the wrong consequences.
You mean practice? No, what do you mean this?
No,
Continue.
you need to have the knowledge of that particular subject.
Huh.
You need to understand the science behind it. You need to understand the enlightenment science. You need to understand spiritual science.
Okay.
Then only you are helping yourself.
Okay.
Half knowledge is dangerous.
Okay. Okay.
So you need to have the complete understanding.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. Thank you. Namaste to all of you.